Well, welcome back, baseball fans, to the 1971 WBC Winter Baseball Classic. We got a game today between, as I'm putting new logos in here, we got a game today between Rhode Island and St. Petersburg, Florida. Let's show you how the teams got to this point in the tournament in the round of 3. Also, and review the previous result, the overview here. So in the previous result, Seattle and Mississippi played a series. SeaTac, not Seattle. Number 11 SeaTac played number 6 Mississippi. They needed to win 3 out of 4, and they won 3 out of 4. 3 road wins and a home loss, but they got the job done. They go from 5-6 to 8-7. And Mississippi just fell apart. It's a tournament. Hard to predict what these teams are going to do, really. And they were eliminated at 7-7. So we have this series here. Number 10, St. Petersburg, Florida versus number 7, Rhode Island. In a best of 3, as the teams are only half game apart in this series. So with that, let's show you what happened in Game 1. Game 1 opened up in Rhode Island. The Rhode Island Ridgebacks. That's a clever pun if you haven't caught that, but yeah. Anyway, that's their logo too, by the way. Game 1, it is Pat Jarvis for St. Pete. It is Wade Blasingame for Rhode Island. 2 very anonymous pitchers trying to make a name for themselves as the summer 2023 draft approaches to see if they can get into the league and see if they can make a statement today. It's a well-pitched game, I got to say, by both guys. Early on, we have a ground ball scores a run here. Then a 2-out single by Dalton Jones ties it. Then we get in the 6th inning, Jarvis runs into trouble. A couple singles, and then a 2-out, 2-run single by Campaneris is 3-1. But then Blasingame runs into trouble in the top of the 7th, and then Steve Stone comes in the bullpen, gives up RBI singles to Mota and Santo. It's a 4-3 game, and it finishes that way. Mike Paul closes it out. A 4-3 game. Well played game. Jarvis's line 5 2/3, 7 hits, 3 runs. Blasingame 6 1/3, 10 hits, 3 runs. And a save for Mike Paul. So it was a nice little game there. And a road win for St. Pete in a best of 3. They come home to St. Petersburg, Florida, needing to win this game at home, and they will advance in the tournament. We are here in St. Pete. They are the St. Petersburg Dollies. And there's the big mustache sculpture outside of the museum, down at the Dali Museum in St. Petersburg. And the baseball stadium is just on the other side of these hedges, we think. So, this is game 86 of the tournament. St. Petersburg can win this, and we're done. We got on the mound today for Rhode Island. By the way, Rhode Island's got a nice offense, but they are pitcherly challenged. Is a nice way of putting it. Tom Phoebus is the 3 starter. He'll get the start today. He was a Padre, left Baltimore in the confines there of that great pitching organization to go to San Diego, where he was 3-11 with a 4.47 ERA in 133 innings in the year of 71. He will face very young Ron Bryant of the Giants farm system. 7-10, 379 in 140 innings in 71. He's going to be very good in 72, and that's the card we have in the league. He's also going to win 24 games pretty soon. And he'll do that with a very high whip. It was a very strange 24-win card for the Giants, in which he got tremendous support. But anyway, that's a story for another day. It's Rhode Island, St. Petersburg, Florida, in a round of 3. Leading off for Rhode Island will be Bert Campaneris. 6'12", flies the center. Jerry Grody to the max. 2-8, double 1 to 10 is a base hit. Pete Rose, by any other name. 58, double 1 to 2 off of Bryant, single dot dot. And here comes Rhode Island with their big bats on the corners for Nate Colbert. 212 is a 5-4-3 double play. That's awful for a team who's down 0-1 in the series. All right, leading off for St. Pete is Ty Klein. 69 is a walk. He's a C stealer. Sizemore is a good hit and run guy. He's going to do it. The hit and run moves the runner up. We got a guy at second for Manny Mota center. 1-7, and Manny delivers. Double 1 to 9. It's a 2-base hit, and Mota delivers the RBI. Petersburg is now 24 outs away, dare we say, of advancing in the tournament. Ken Singleton, 65, off the Phoebus card, and oh boy, it's the 6-5 card, and I rolled a 6-5. Homer, 1 to 16, double, but he misses it. Off to settle for the RBI double. 2-0. Here's Ron Santo, 5-10. He's a walk. 2 on, 1 out for Ed Herman. His card's up. 67 off of Phoebus. Oh boy. Single 1 to 13, and he gets it to load the bases with 1 out. Really need a double play here if you're Rhode Islanders. Chances are just about done. And your bullpen is horrendous. So bases loaded, 1 out, playing back and looking for a Bob Watson double play ball. Here's the pitch to Bob Watson. 38. Fly ball to center B question mark. It's Singleton. Kenny Singleton to center. He is a 14 runner. 15-16. But we got Pete Rose playing center field today. Pete Rose's defense is 71. He's a 1 -3 arm E2 in right field. He's a 3 E2 in center. So they got him in center today, as the regular center fielder Jim Holt is on the bench against the lefty. -3 arm. They're going to run this. It makes it a 1 to 13 chance. And he scores on an 8. If you're wondering about my rules on tagging up, the road team needs a 14 or better. And the home team is just my discretion. I get to play as the manager of the home team in those situations, and I elected to go. So it is 3-0 now, with 2 outs, with runners at first and second, and Mike Hegan at the plate. 2-5, a roller to second base. Can Ron Bryant make this stand up? Rico Petrocelli, 66, is a fly ball to left. Carl Yastrzemski. See, you get a little bit of Boston flavor in Rhode Island, almost like it's like a Pawtucket or Providence team, perhaps. I don't know. But anyway, you get that kind of flavor to this team. 3-11 for Yaz is a walk. Now you got Tommy Harper, another Red Sox. 6-10, bouncer to short. But this is Aparicio at 2E22 shortstop, and it's a ground ball B. Harper has speed. Herman's got a -2 armor, and they're down 3. He'll stay put at first for Chris Cannizzaro. 2-10, Chris Cannizzaro, double 1 to 3 is a single. The runner goes to third with 2 outs for Rick Rennick. 5-11 off Bryant, pitcher X. Bryant's an E20, right in the middle there of potential outcomes, and that is a GBC. Bryant's put a couple guys on and survived without giving up a run. Bottom of the second, it's Lee Aparicio leading off. 69, rolls the second X. This is Tommy Harper, not good defensively, as you can imagine. It's a 40-41 playing second today. It's base hit. Back up top now to Ty Klein. 2-8 is a walk. 2 on, nobody out for Ted Sizemore. 49, center C. Manny Mota. 1-6, he delivers again, this Manny Mota card. This is not an evaluation for Mota. We have a future card of him in the league. He hits .313 and in the future, I believe in 73, maybe 72. And he's hitting, well, .312 here. Has no homers, though. But 1-6 is triple, 1 to 16. That is a 2-run triple. And, folks, people down in St. Petersburg need to get excited here. They're doing very well this tournament round. 5-0 lead. Runner at third and 1 out, and it's Ken Singleton. 3-11 rolls to first. The runner does not score. And Ron Santo, 1-9's a walk. They're on the corners for Easy Ed Herman. 47 off of Phoebus is a single to center field. And it's a 6-0 game. And know what you're thinking, folks. Get them out of there. But, oh, it's pretty bad. I've got to say, of all the 16 teams, Rhode Island's bullpen is the worst. These guys, Laxton's awful. Really awful. Boland's acceptable, but he's the closer, and it's the second inning. Stone is bad, Harden's bad, and yeah. So just sit and spin. If he hits a point of weakness, I'll yank him, but otherwise he's given up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits, and 1, 2, 3, 4 walks. 2 more hits will reach that point. But anyway, first and second with 2 outs. and a 6-0 lead, and it's Bob Watson. 69 is a roller to second X. Really need a play here out of Tommy Harper. No, single off the 4 second baseman. You can't combine horrific defense with pathetic pitching. It's just not a mix. It will simply load the bases with 2 outs, and it's Mike Hegan. 45, short X. He can field, we believe. Campaneris. He's a 3-32 at shortstop. 3, E32, and he makes the play. So, St. Petersburg sends 17 men to the plate in the first 2 frames. They only come away with 6 runs, only. But it's up to this team to put the Rhode Island away. And it's up to Rhode Island to get their highly touted offense cranking for the remarkable comeback attempt. Top of the 3rd, Bert Campaneris. 2-9, single. The problem with the team is that their speed and their hitting and running ability is null when you're down 6 runs. So, Rhode, gotta stay out of double play situation here, Jerry. 2-8, Jerry Rhode hits his card with double 1 of 10. It's a single. Runners in the corners are going to play back for a Rose by any other name, and Pete delivers a single, and here comes Rhode Island. We got a 6-1 game. Rhode holds the second. 2 on, nobody out for Nate Colbert. 58, double 1 of 2, single ... and a 6-2 game with runners on the corners. Arrigo Petrocelli. 67 is a pop to first. Yastrzemski. 2-5 is a 3-6-3 double play. That's a tough one there. Runners on the corners and 1 out. Yaz hits into the double play. Yeah, that's a shame. Okay. Bottom of the 3rd inning. It's going to be Aparicio. 57 is a K. Ty Klein. 3-6 is a single. Ted Sizemore. 3-6, triple 1 of 4 is a single ... and here comes St. Pete again. My goodness. I don't think they got that good an offense, but they're rolling in this tournament. Manny Mota looking to go 3 for 3 and hit for the cycle. We have a 5-4-3 double play. Yeah, they batted around in the previous inning, yeah. Forget Aparicio lit off with a strikeout. Okay. We go to the 4th. 6-2 game. St. Pete might regret the guys they left on base in this one. Tommy Harper. 38 is a walk. Count of 0, 1-7 is a pop to short. Rick Rennick. 2-7 is single 1 of 15. Gets it. 2-1, 1 out. Yeah. In a tournament game, they're not crazy about making Bryant pitch his 5 innings to qualify for a win. If he starts to blow this thing, it's time to bring the hook out. 2-1, 1 out for Campaneris. 34 flies to left. And Jerry Grody with 2 outs. 5-10. Oh, he nails that. Bryant. He doesn't have power, does Grody. Homer 1 of 12 double. It's a single ... That would have been a 3-run homer if Grody had power. It's a 6-3 game, and now you got Pete Rose, who has power, believe it or not. Has the tie run suddenly. 3-11 is a fly ball to right. And Rhode Island keeps creeping back in this thing. I think we did break Phoebus, did we not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, we did. And did you have that 1, 2? Yeah. We're going to call him broken, but he'll pitch through the 4th inning just to save this bullpen from excessive use or excessive headaches. Ken Singleton. 1-6 is a walk. Ron Santo. 65, and it's the 6-5 card, and it's a 2-run home run. Well, we could be here a long day, folks. We're looking at a 17-14 finish, I'm guessing. 9-3 game now. And we're still not taking Phoebus out because we got 5 more frames to throw. Ed Herman, and the pitching just gets worse. He pops to first. Watson, 65, and yeah, the 6-5 card again. Homer 1 of 16, another solo home run. If you keep denting the pitcher's card, it doesn't really matter. I mean, that's just, you got no shot. So that's what we're seeing here today. Mike Hegan, 5'11", pitcher X. Phoebus, can you field? No, you cannot. You're a 2E33, and that's an error. A rare blend of sloth and weakness on that attempt at a ground ball back to the mound. A runner at first, 1 out. Louis Aparicio, 2-9, pops to second, and with 2 outs, it's Ty Klein. 1-7 is a K. That will conclude the Phoebus day after 4 painful innings. Yet this team has been down 6 runs already in this game, once, and they're going to have to do it again. 9-3 in the fifth for Ron Bryant against Nate Colbert. 64, catcher's card. Herman's a 3E5, and he makes the play. Rico Petrocelli, 1-4. This guy's a center, and with 2 outs, Yastrzemski, 6-11 off Bryant. Pitcher X. Bryant is an E20. Can he make the final out of the inning? Yes, he can. GBA there. 5 in the books for Bryant. Watch him carefully in the 6th inning. Stretch time, not stretch time. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right, Phoebus is gone. We're going to go Steve Stone in the 5th. He actually pitched an inning and 2/3 in the first game, but he has to pitch. Stone was a giant, 5-9, 4.14 ERA, 111 innings, 110 hits, 55 walks, and 9 home runs allowed. I would say he's okay against righties, not so much against lefties. Called into action with 5 frames left. Not a good look. Here's Ted Sizemore. 56, a strikeout. Manny Mota. It's almost like going with a hot hand. The pitcher is just pitching well and just leave him in there until you get one that is. Manny Mota, 1-8, and again, he's on with a single. 3 hits and a double play for Manny. C. Steeler, but you got Rhode catching, so he'll stay put. Singleton. 67 is a K, and with 2 outs, it's Santo. 45 hits Stone's card with a single to left. Manny Mota will not make the 3rd out of 3rd. He'll stay at 2nd with 2 outs for easy Ed Herman. 57 for Ed is a walk. The bases are loaded for Bob Watson. At least he's right-handed. That should help Stone. Got to make a pitch here if you're Steve Stone, but the base is loaded in 2 outs. Here's the pitch. 57, he strikes out Bob Watson. We still barely have a game. It's 9-3 as we go to the 6th. And we are going to watch Bryant closely. He is a starter 6. I don't think I'm going to break him on 3 batters. If 2 batters reach, I'll probably hook him, as he's been extremely shaky, putting at least 2 guys on in most innings except the last. Tommy Harper, trying to redeem himself for some shoddy glove work at the plate. 1-3, however, is a liner to short. Chris Cannizzaro, 4-10, center X. Ty Klein is a 3E4 in center field. He makes the grab. With 2 outs, Rick Rennick, 66, fly ball left, and as soon as I disparage Ron Bryant, he retires 7 batters in a row, putting St. Petersburg in tremendous shape. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Stone will continue. It'll be Mike Hegan. 2-6 is a walk. Aparicio will hit and run here. They'll do some fun stuff with a big 6-run lead. The hit and run, runner's got a steal. Runner rolls a 13. Now he's not being held. 11 plus, oh, he's got a 0 arm, so it's 1-11. Plus 2 arm would have been safe, but he is out stealing for the first out. Caught stealing on a botched hit and run attempt. So base is empty, 1 out now from Louis Aparicio. 3-12 to Lomax. So yeah, not a St. Petersburg inning this time. Ty Klein, 56 is a walk. And I think it's the last lefty Stone will face. You got Sizemore, Mota, and then he'll be gone. Here's Sizemore. 1-5 is a walk. Got to get this guy out. It's Manny Mota. 3 for 4. Last batter for Stone in a 9-3 game. Here's the pitch. 3-6 is a fly ball to left field. Not bad for Stone. Avoided giving up any more runs, though he put plenty on base. Stays 9-3. We go to the 7th, and I'm not even going to take any chance with Ron Bryant. I'll take my 6 innings and call it good. 7th inning, we'll go with Ken Wright as a right-handed dominant lineup. Wright is good against righties, not so much against lefties. This will entice Rhode Island to start pinch hitting their lefties, but you're not going to pinch hit for Campaneris or Rhode. You'd most likely pinch hit for the guys at the bottom of the lineup, so Ken Wright in the 7th will face Campaneris. 35 to roll it to short. Jerry Grody. Now you could pinch hit for him and leave Cannizzaro as the DH in the game as your catcher. Just to get a left-handed bat in there with Pete Rose coming up. All right, let's do it. We're down 6. Let's empty the bench. You may as well. Dalton Jones will bat as a pinch hitter here as a lefty trying to get on base. Pitch to Dalton, 111. There's a roller to third. That didn't work. Canizero now catching Grody's spot, and then Pete Rose. 45, that is Homer, 1-13. Fly ball the rest, and old Pete Rose just launched one. If you're wondering about the power, folks, it's still 71. 70 and 71, he's in double digits in home runs. I think 69 as well, all 3 years I believe he was in double digits in home runs. 13 of them. Only hit 304 though, one of his weaker years for that category. We got a 9-4 game. And we got Nate Colbert up. 2-5, Nate Colbert on his card is Homer 1-11 double. It's a 2-base hit. Now you got Rico Petrocelli. Final batter for Wright because Yaz is on deck. The pitch to Rico Petrocelli. 57 is a K. So Wright will leave after that one frame with Yaz coming up, who is left-handed. So, bottom of the 7th of a 9-4 game. Stretch time here in St. Pete. We are enjoying listening to the Windbreakers Time Machine LP on DB Records somewhere in the South. I don't know if it was Florida. It might have been from Georgia. That kind of jangle rock from that era. So there you go. The Windbreakers, a nice find. Their only selection on this platform. And it's a nice touch. They have a nice LP out there called Run that you should check out. Really good record. Anyway, back to the bottom of the 7th inning. Stone leaves after 2 frames, and this is where it gets really bad. You got switch hitter, righty, lefty. Let's at least go with the lefty for amusement. Let's go to Bill Laxton. He comes walking out there to the mound. He'll bring a 6.75 ERA in 28 innings to the mound. Did that with the Padres. Maybe he'll turn some guys around. We'll see. Ken Singleton. 44, second X. This is where your X's have to help, and unfortunately, he hits Tommy Harper again. He's a 40-41 second baseman. You're destroying your team there, Tommy, with your glove. That's a base hit. And that's every guy's hit a ball that direction has reached and piled up on the run column. Oh boy, Ron Santo, 210. That is Santo's 210 card. That is a 2-run homer, folks. This is the St. Petersburg world. We're living in it. Ed Herman. Oh, we could take him out as a left-handed batter and bring in Fred Kendall. As Kendall was hoping he could swing the bat against Bill Laxton, and he does. Fred Kendall, 67, is base hit. Bob Watson. These guys are like, they're not even in the dugout. They're on the top step waiting to get into the batter's box. Bob Watson, 6'11", pitcher X, Laxton. He's an E0, folks. Yeah, just get rid of the 8 guys behind him. Just let him as a 2E0. That is a 1-6-3 double play. Well, that helps the cause. And Mike Keegan, he'll leave, even though he's a good defensive first baseman, for Chico Simone, just to get some playing time in an 11-4 affair. 1-5, Chico Simone with the 1-5 card. He goes deep. He was an Oriole in 71 as a pinch hitter. 2 homers and 84 pinch hit attempts. That's one of them. That's a solo homer after the double play. And it is 12-4. Last 2 games, well, not the last 2, but had a 22-5 game recently, a couple games ago. And now we're up to 12-4 here. Aparicio, 69, single 1-6, doesn't get it. Mercy, 12-4 game into the 8th inning. Ken Wright will leave. Jim McAndrew comes on in the 8th inning. Nice pitcher is Jim. Was in the New York Mets system. We got him onto the Yankees in the Summer League. And here he is today. He's very good. Pretty good pitcher. The 2.80 ERA in 71. When the Don Cardwells and Gary Gentrys of the world started to fail, Jim McAndrew arrived. But by the time Matlack arrives, McAndrew starts to struggle. So he's sort of caught in between the 69 and 73 World Series appearances. 2-5, 4.40 ERA in 90 innings, but his card would seem to play better than that. We'll see how he does here in the 8th. against Carl Yastrzemski. 38 is a fly to right. Tommy Harper, please get on base. 1-5 is a walk. Thanks, Tommy. Whew. Chris Canizero. 32 is a 1-6-3 double play. 12-4. We've seen enough of Laxton. We'll bring in Bobby Bolin to pitch the 8th as the quote-unquote closer. 5-3 with a 4.24 ERA in 70 innings for your Boston Red Sox. It'll be Klein leading off in the bottom of the 8th. 67, it's a base hit. Sizemor's going to hit and run here. A little running up the score kind of stuff to do. The runner advances on the ground ball. Got a runner at second for the incredible day of Manny Mota. 3 for 5 to this point. 56 is a strikeout though. And with 2 outs, it's Ken Singleton, who's been on 3 times as well. 48 is double 1-9 single. That's an RBI. It is 13-4. St. Pete, folks, they got a machine down here in Florida. Ron Santo, 45, rolls to second base. It is 13-4 in the 9th inning, and we're going to bring Stan Williams in. He is the closer. He was a great Minnesota Twin pitcher. In 71, his ERA dips a little bit. He's 4-5 with a 4.15 ERA for the Twins. They put him on waivers, I believe. Actually, maybe they're not. He might be on the keeper list, so we'll have to check that at the end of the video. So in the 9th, Rick Rennick will lead off. 1-5 is a K. Campaneris, 34, rolls to short. And Dalton Jones, 4-10, center X. This is Ty Klein, a 3-4 in center field. But he gets up a single. The game will continue. It'll be Pete Rose, homered at his last at-bat. 37 is a walk, and the game will continue. It's Nate Colbert with 2 on and 2 outs. 6-10, third X. This is Ron Santo, a 2E19 third baseman, and the game will not continue. He gobbles that one up. It's all over. 13-4. 2 straight wins for St. Pete in the tournament. And let's do the box for the 2 squads. Sorry for Rhode Island. They just got a bad break in the pitching category, and they could not get either a rotation or a bullpen. Bolin gives up 2 hits, a run, and a K. Bill Laxton gives up 4 hits, 3 runs. Steve Stone was decent. Well, 2 hits, let's see, 2 hits, a walk, and 3 Ks in the 5th inning. And then 3 more walks and a botched stealing attempt in the 6th inning. So he managed to put 6 guys on base, nobody scored. Phoebus takes the loss. Oh boy. Here goes my league ERA again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He gave up 11 hits in 4 innings along with 9 runs. Oh boy. Are they all earned? Yeah, of course they are. They're all earned. Walk 5, strikeout 2. My goodness. Stan Williams in the 9th inning gave up a hit, a walk, and a K. McAndrew walked a batter. Ken Wright made things interesting with 2 hits, a run, and a K. 6 innings, Bryant went to collect the victory, giving up 9 hits and 3 runs. It happened in the mid-innings, and he settled down. Just 2 walks, no strikeouts. 1-0-0-9-0, 108, 13-19, 412, 13-19, 412, 4-2-9-6, 9-6, 4-2. So your visiting Rhode Island team, they actually put 16 men on base, but the hometown team put 28 men on base. My goodness. 2 straight wins for St. Pete. We'll look at the box, and then after that, we will do the elimination portion for the Rhode Island team. So let's do the stats here. Rhode Island was the favorite. Well, I guess it's hard to say. I guess St. Petersburg should have been the favorite. It's really hard to predict favorites in this stuff. I mean, the cards are... Seen players who don't normally play with each other try and get a lineup together and get their defense and substitutions. It's hard to predict how good these teams are going to be. So St. Petersburg is 7-5 after 2 straight wins, hitting .301, and you saw a lot of that today. They got a .353 ERA. And now Rhode Island. The good news, bad news. So Rhode Island finishes the tournament 5-6. The good news is that they hit 292. Bad news is that their team ERA was 5.59. And that'll get you every time. All right, that's it. And stay tuned for the elimination of the Rhode Island team. Well, baseball fans, this is the elimination of the Rhode Island Ridgebacks team here. Nice offense, horrible pitching. Let's see here. We had Yastrzemski had a nice time here. He had 3 homers, 11 RBIs in 11 games. 333, 458 on base. Canizero, nice job there. Tommy Harper hit, didn't field very well. Stole 3 bases. Cabanera stole a couple. Rose has a 304 card, hits 310 with it in this particular instance. The offense was certainly there enough. Petrocelli struggled a little bit with his 71 card, though that card will most likely be in the league. McAuliffe was terrible with his 71 card. I think we have a different version for him as well. As far as the pitching goes, well, Bolin was probably the most serviceable of all the relievers, and he did okay, getting 3 saves in 5 innings. Was fine, 7 hits and just a walk. Everything else looks pretty terrible. Blaziken gave you 20 innings, but he gave up 29 hits in that time, but only 3 walks. Ken Reynolds, don't have to worry about him. He's in the league. Steve Stone is just not quite ready yet. He got knocked around. Jim Harden is probably time for retirement. Marty Patton was the ace of the staff, but he got knocked around. Gave up 25 hits and 15 earned runs. This team scored 57 runs and gave up 60. So they were 5-6. They were right in the middle of all this. Interesting that I don't see this very often at all. 60 runs and all 60 were earned. No errors that caused, no unearned runs by a pitching staff. It's very strange to see that for one of these teams. Phoebus started that game and in 17 innings did not do much to state a case for why he should be in the Summer League. And yeah, not looking good there. Let's take a look now at their 1971 stats. Again, denoted by the yellow guys on waivers. This is their evaluation primarily. Rick Rennick, Wade Blasingame, Tom Phoebus, Jim Harden. Blasingame and Phoebus pitched in the St. Petersburg series and lost both starts. Not making much of a case for themselves. A nice crew of keepers, though. Campaneris, Canizero, Grody, Harper, Dalton Jones, Petrozelli, Rose, Yastrzemski, and Patton. Particularly Rose and Yastrzemski, both contracts up. The Reds are going to go probably with a 70. Well, I don't know. 73, he's the MVP of the National League, but he doesn't have much power. I almost want to go with a 72 Rose. Yastrzemski actually has a little bit of a lull in 71 and 2, but then returns with some pop in 73 and 74. You see, this version of Yaz only hit 254 with a 772 OPS. Petrocelli is going to hit 28 home runs with a 71 card, and after that, it's not going to be nearly as good. And the green guys are carry-on players, meaning we have their card of 72 or 73 in the Summer League, including Nate Colbert, which we like. Jim Holt, which hits 297, so we like that better than this one. Dick McAuliffe, who all the years are better than this one for him. Ken Reynolds, only in the tournament because he throws left-handed. Bobby Bolin, after missing a year or two, he comes back in 73 with a nice year. And then only 2 guys undrafted free agents on this list. Steve Stone, who is decent. I mean, he's decent, but I don't know. He'll go from San Francisco to the White Sox and have a very ordinary decade until his magical 1980, where he wins 25 games. But he's just sort of ordinary up until then. And Bill Laxton is, Laxton in the middle of the decade has a good year or two, but he's just too young here. He's 23, and he hasn't figured it out yet. And he got knocked around. Probably shouldn't have made his card, but sometimes Strat makes cards based on innings pitched and plate appearances versus somebody else they could put in who might be better, more talented. So now let's take a look here as we open the stack up. We're going to start by looking at the 4 guys on waivers and see if they've made a case to get into the league. Interesting Rick Rennick card. Against lefties, he has power, home runs, His defense is terrible. As a one-way player against lefties, he'd be marginal. So I'm not going to write him off, but yeah, probably not. This Wade Blasingame, he's a starter 7, which is probably the best thing about him. If you avoided looking at that and go, oh, he's a lefty who's a starter 7, that's good. Just puts too many right-handed batters on base. 9-11 with a 4.61 ERA. So I don't think so. This is the Phoebus card that got knocked around in that game we just played. He's actually good against righties. Maybe he should be a long man, but it's probably not going to happen for him either. 3-11, 4.47. And for right-handed pitchers, you have to have a higher level of expectation. And last waiver guy, and this was just a kindness. He probably should have been put on the retired list. This is flat out awful here. You just don't want this guy in your league. You don't even want to play him in a tournament, really. Oddly enough, his stats are probably better than his card with an ERA of 5. That brings us to the keepers, and some interesting guys here on the keeper list. Campaneris with a 71 card. So we have been using that 1970 Campaneris with the 22 home runs, but now that is over with. I would get Campaneris as a 2 defender or possibly a AA stealer versus this version. I really value that defense at shortstop, and he's not quite there yet. He's a 3.32. And if Oakland wants to win a World Series, I would say improved defense at short is a ticket, and that's not here. Canizero, nice on-base percentage and power against lefties. What type of arm does he have? He's got a +2 arm here. That doesn't help either. Yeah, probably not. Maybe the walks make him a candidate, I suppose. I don't know how many catchers are in this, or if there's going to be a catcher shortage or not. If there's a catcher shortage, then that changes the game, I guess. Now, with Rhode, this is an interesting case of the Mets. This will be Jerry's best batting average in the 4-year timeline from 71 to 4. However, I might suggest to those Mets, he hits 270. I'd rather have the -2 arm. I'd rather have Jerry Grady with a -2 arm versus a 0 arm, even if it means hitting 210 versus hitting 270 here. I don't need that batting average. I mean, I like both if I can get it, but I'd rather have a good throwing armed catcher for the New York Mets so they can continue to dominate with their pitching staff and get back to a World Series. They won the World Series 2 years ago. They had the best record in the National League last year. Grody helped along the way. All right, next guy, Tommy Harper, property of Boston. Can play the infield and the outfield. Still here with this card. He's got a better year with 17 homers in the future, so I would not use this one. Dalton Jones is property of Arizona, and he played second base and first base in the previous year. He actually hits decently against right-handed pitching, and even at 12% against lefties, they give him a ton of doubles. And he's a 3. It's not a glamorous card, but it's a versatile card, at least to play first and third. What's he get, 250? 254 at bat, 254 here. So, and here's Petrocelli. 2 third basemen with plenty of power. Yeah, that's great. It's just, I can't help thinking about the 1969 Petrocelli when he hit 40 home runs and was a 2 E14 at shortstop. So, yeah, this is a great card for a third baseman, but we've seen 3-year decline for him, and it would be really hard to stay up in that stratosphere. But he hit 91 walks, 251 batting average. This is an excellent third baseman. Plain and simple, he's excellent. He's just not a superstar Hall of Fame plus player that he was in '69. All right, here's Rose with some power. But, interestingly, that's pretty weak for batting average for him, at least. This is not a good batting average card. He's still a beast stealer. I'm just not going to choose this card. I don't want Rose hitting 304. I want better than that. But what I'm going to miss about Rose in this era is the beast stealing, the 1 -3 arm, and the power. The top line here is just incredible. But down here, particularly against lefties, he's just so ordinary. And the Reds are in the World Series in '72, and he wins the MVP in '73. So I'm going to look at those cards. Here's Yaz, but the batting average is down. Walks are there. You see Homer out on 10, single out on 7. Same traditional defense, a 1-3 in the outfield, a 2 at first base. He usually is that through most of this decade. You can get a better batting average for him than this one, as it's only 254. I want more out of my Yaz than that. He's got to be playing at a Hall of Fame level the whole decade, in my opinion. Marty Patton, a very good year here. As a starter 8, really dominates righties as a starter 8. Has a trouble keeping the ball in the park against lefties, though that is 1-2 fly ball the rest. That's a redeeming quality. This card could certainly get into the league. He's got a few of these. He is property, however. He plays for Boston, Kansas City, and I think Milwaukee in a 4-year span. He's currently Kansas City's property. Kansas City has this guy. But this is a Milwaukee card. And that's the stats there. Interesting. So this will be one of those key moments for for Kansas City's season in determining which Marty Patton they select. Now the carry-on guys. None of these, I think. This is a nice looking Nate Colbert card, but funny part about it is Colbert's got a better home run card than this already in the league in 72. It's 27 homers here, and I think he gets 38 homers. Jim Holt's got a 297 card in the league, so we want to continue using that one, not this one. This is Dick McCullough's worst year of the 4. Always had a good on-base percentage, a good eye for the ball. Could hit lefties well, but in this particular version, he had a bad 1971. Rebounded with an excellent 72, 3, and 4. Here it's 208. Ken Reynolds has pretty much the same performance in 72. That's the card the Florida Marlins are using. I don't see a particular reason in switching into this one. It's pretty much mediocre. Benefiting by, again, throwing with his left arm. Boleyn was the closer for this Rhode Island squad, and should not have been, but he's really 4, and he gets knocked around. And we have a better version of him in the future. And lastly, our 2 undrafted free agents. Steve Stone, so here he is. This is 71 with, of course, the Giants. The numbers aren't too bad. He's fine, really. I think he's got a good 72, though. One of these 4 years, Stone really does some nice stuff, and that's the year you should take. Now, against righties, that's pretty good. But against lefties, the homer-walk combination, in a regular league, he'd be fine. But in the carryover league, these guys get knocked around because of the increased level of competition. If your right-handed pitcher gives up homers and walks to lefties, he's going to struggle. And just being good against righties is not good enough. A long man, fine. Yeah, he could make it as a long man for one of the worst teams in the league, I suppose. And lastly, we finish with a guy who probably shouldn't exist here, and this is Bill Axton. What I enjoy saying about this card is he's survivable as a lefty who, against lefties, doesn't give up home runs. That's what I like about this. So if you're in one of those situations where you have a left-handed batter who doesn't have any hits on his card because he was a platoon player, you could use Laxton in that situation. And then as soon as they turn around to a right-handed batter, you want him to get out of Dodge. That's just not a good card. 675 in just 28 innings. Good news for Bill Laxton fans. He'll have a nice year or two in the middle of this decade. So I don't want to end on a bad note. He'll rebound, and he'll have a nice year, I think, with Cleveland, maybe Boston. So that's the good news for that. And that concludes an elimination of the Rhode Island Winter Baseball Classic squad. I hope you're enjoying this series. We got a lot more eliminations to go. We'll do an elimination video for every team in the tournament so you get to see all 320 cards. Thanks for checking us out. We'll see you next time.